Hey everyone, and welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're unpacking a text that is well over 5,000 years old, but honestly, it speaks so directly to our modern lives, it's kind of uncanny. I mean, look around, right? It's so easy to see a world completely driven by materialism. We are constantly scrambling for status, for wealth, for power. And in the middle of all that scrambling, we inevitably mess up. We compromise, we fall short, and a lot of us end up carrying around this heavy burden of our past mistakes. We start wondering if we've, permanently disqualified ourselves from any kind of inner peace or higher purpose. So the big question is there actually a way back from being flawed? Well, let's just jump right into it with the core, frankly provocative question that Chapter 9 of the Bhagavad Gita tries to answer. If someone has lived a life just full of mistakes, or what ancient texts might boldly call a sinful life, are they forever locked out of making spiritual progress? We tend to think of righteousness as this super exclusive VIP club for people who have literally been perfect their entire lives. But this specific chapter, it challenges that idea head-on, offering a completely revolutionary perspective on human transformation. But to really get there, we first need to completely rethink what religion or spirituality actually looks like. A lot of us picture what? Really complex, expensive rituals? Hours of agonizing study. Intense, maybe even painful sacrifices? But just ask yourself this. What if a single drop of water, or even just a simple leaf, if offered with pure, unadulterated love, was actually valued more than the most elaborate, grand ritual ever performed? That right there is the radical democratization of spirituality, and it totally sets the stage for our entire discussion today. The text calls this foundational concept Raja Vidya and Raja Guhya, which translates beautifully to the king of knowledge and the king of secrets. Now, it's called royal or sovereign, not because it's some elite thing locked away in a palace somewhere, but because it simply reigns supreme over all other forms of knowledge. And it's a secret, well, not because it's hidden in a dark cave, but because it is so profoundly simple and accessible that our complicated, totally ego-driven human minds constantly overlook it. Now, there's a really crucial distinction made here between two fundamental ways of knowing things, jnana and vijnana. Jnana is your passive, bookish knowledge. It's the pure theory. Vijnana, on the flip side, is experiential wisdom. It's what happens when that knowledge literally gets into your bones and completely changes how you walk through the real world. The Bhagavad Gita insists that to experience this royal secret, you absolutely have to move from just reading about it to actually doing it. Think about it like this, because this is a perfect analogy. You could literally memorize an entire book on how to make tea, the exact water-to-leaf ratio, the perfect temperature, the whole shebang. But none of that means you actually know how a warm cup of tea tastes, right? Or think about watching 100 YouTube tutorials on coding a video game. You aren't actually a programmer until you sit down and write the code yourself. Passive knowledge is a great start, for sure, but active hands-on practice is the only thing that yields true wisdom. So, how do we bridge that gap? How do we move from knowing the recipe to actually tasting the tea? The text gives us the bridge, and it's called Shraddha. Shraddha translates to an unwavering faith or trust. It's an upward climb, a deep, profound trust in something way larger than your own ego. Without that faith, the knowledge just stays dry and purely intellectual. It's this active, trusting application of what you know that throws open the door to real, tangible transformation in our daily lives. All right, moving into section 1, the power of offerings, simple and sincere. So let's say we have that faith. What do we actually do with it? The answer lies in the incredible power of simple offerings. This is where the path becomes deeply, beautifully egalitarian, completely stripping away any need for wealth, status, or specialized training. The crucial point here is that the divine accepts even the most basic, freely available items. The text specifically calls out patram, pushpam, palam, toyam, a leaf, a flower, a fruit, or just water. These are things literally anyone, anywhere in the world can access. The divine doesn't need your money. What transforms that ordinary water or that simple leaf into a powerful spiritual tool is the devotion, the bhakti, with which you offer it. Because at the end of the day, it's the pure intention behind the offering that the universe is evaluating, not the material value of the thing itself. And wow. Does that completely democratize the sacred? In our modern lives, we are so constantly judged by the scale of our achievements, the size of our paychecks, or how perfect our Instagram feeds look. But this ancient wisdom tells us that a pure heart and sincere intention are the ultimate currency. That changes absolutely everything, especially for those who feel like they have nothing left to give. Which brings us to Section 2, Ultimate Redemption, and a truly revolutionary promise. This is really the climax of our explainer today. Because if pure intention is all that matters, what does that mean for someone whose past intentions and actions were, frankly, terrible? Verse 9.30 drops this absolute bombshell. Even if the most sinful person worships me with exclusive devotion, they should be considered saintly, for they have rightly resolved. Just think about the sheer magnitude of that promise. Past mistakes, literally no matter how severe, do not permanently disqualify anyone from immediate spiritual progress. The very moment your heart makes a genuine, exclusive pivot toward the divine, your entire identity shifts. And get this, it doesn't take multiple lifetimes of grueling penance to process this redemption. The very next verse promises, Kshipram Bhavati Dharmatma, which translates to, swiftly they become righteous. The transformation is incredibly rapid. The text assures us that the second a person sincerely shifts their heart, drops their ego, and takes refuge in this higher purpose, they are literally no longer defined as a sinner. The entire texture of their thoughts has changed, and because of that, their destiny has entirely changed. Let's tie this all together now in Section 3, Focus and Transformation in Modern Psychology. It's so easy to just write this off as ancient mysticism, right? But let's bring this right into the 21st century. How does this 5,000-year-old promise of instant transformation hold up today? Amazingly, modern psychology and neuroscience are completely validating what this text has been saying for millennia. It's called neuroplasticity. The ancient concept of bhakti is fundamentally about single-pointed devotion and focus. And today, science tells us that the human brain literally becomes what it repeatedly focuses on. When you shift your entire focus away from your past mistakes and dial in on a higher purpose, you are physically rewiring your neural pathways. Your actions inevitably, effortlessly follow your focus. So, what does this actually look like for us on a busy Tuesday? How do we break this profound philosophy down into actionable steps? First, acknowledge your past, own it, but absolutely refuse to let it be your permanent label. Second, shift your intention deeply. Make a firm, unwavering resolve to align yourself with a higher purpose. And third, transform your everyday, mundane actions into offerings. Whether you're sending an email, eating lunch, or simply drinking a glass of water, do it as an act of devotion. Your daily work becomes worship, your basic duty becomes devotion. This royal secret teaches us one massive, liberating truth. You do not need to be perfect to start. You just need a pure intention. The divine is the support and the witness of literally every single act done with love. So, my final question for you as we wrap up this explainer is this. Knowing that even a simple drop of water can be profoundly sacred, how are you going to apply focused intention to your own daily actions today? Really chew on that as you go about your day. Keep learning, keep focusing, and I will catch you in the next one.